Hi! Good morning, critters! I'm so excited! I'm power tripping! My name is Zehra Fazal. I play Dr. Jean Bassar in The Circle of Needle and Thread, Candela Obscura, and I'm so excited that I am taking over Instagram today! Let's make some coffee. Okay, hi, good morning properly again. Now that I've had my coffee, I'm a little more, feeling better about getting the day started. I'm curious, how do you take your coffee? This just blew my mind a little bit. Matcha cold foam? That sounds so good. Oh my gosh. Please make some. Please send me some. Oh, that sounds amazing. It's like a little Vietnamese coffee situation going on. That sounds incredible. I'm not one to put sugar in my coffee drinks. By the way, that's not my screaming child. That's the neighbors, and I hope they get attention soon.
Good morning, Mousy. Hi, my love. Eat your food. Good morning, Gigi. Psst, 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 psst. Gigi, say hi to the people in the world. She's my little hunter.
So this tapestry is actually a blanket that I got at a casino in New Mexico in 2018, long story. And it was part of like a limited edition release of Southwestern style blankets, but for The Last Jedi. And I love it because it's, for me, like a subtle way to display my love of Star Wars in my living room. Although I don't think maybe it's that subtle after all. All right, my friends, I'm gonna get off the couch and eat something and continue to live my life. Let's do an Ask Me Anything. You can, any questions about Candela or whatever. I'm so excited for our final episode that's coming out in just a few days. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, I swear I didn't do this on purpose. I just love mint green. I'm obsessed with this color right now. Something you have to know about me, guys, is when I get obsessed and really into something, it's all I can think about. Like this purse. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? So when I asked our awesome costume team, Jennifer Newman and Lindsay Hamilton, they were asking if I had any ideas about what I wanted Jean to look like. For me, it was very important that she had this long pea coat, reminiscent of a doctor's coat, but in a light green or a light blue, something kind of pastel, pristine, in contrast to the blood that would inevitably cover it. So, and they did an amazing job, knocked it out of that park with that beautiful green coat. Oh. Hey, I really appreciate this question. I'm doing okay. On a personal level, I'm doing great. These past couple months in particular have been so full of family and friends and connection, and I feel very, very blessed, lucky, fortunate to have the people I have in my life. So I'm doing okay. On another level, I feel kind of sad. Today, in particular, just a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, a lot of difficult things. And so I appreciate this question because I want to let you know if you're feeling sad today, you're not alone. It's okay. Let's hang out. Return of the Jedi. But not the special new edition where Hayden Christensen is put in digitally. I love Hayden Christensen, nothing against him, but it has to be the original Darth Vader actor, because to put Hayden Christensen in, it's like they're implying that Anakin is redeemed because of his younger self and not at the age he is now, where he is at now, redeemed now by the love and power of his son. This is the hill I will die on. Okay, so these are two questions I'm getting a lot. What's my history with tabletop role-playing games, and how did I get involved with Critical Role? So to answer the first part of that, I have very limited experience with TTRPGs. I've only played a handful of times of sort of a modified version of Dungeons and Dragons, the rule set more simplified, with small groups of friends, mostly on Zoom during the pandemic. And this by far has been the most elaborate, involved, formal game I've ever played, which was really exciting because I was doing it live in front of you all. So even though it was nerve-wracking at times, I never felt particularly overly nervous because the folks at Critical Role made me feel so welcomed for my noobness. I felt like my questions, any questions I had about the game, the rules, how to do this, was really welcomed. And I felt like being new to the table was a perspective they wanted and supported. And our DM, Spencer Stark, was just amazing at really making me feel safe and secure so that when we hit that first game, I felt like I had some semblance of knowing what I was doing, or I was able to fake it at least. My whole background is in theater, acting, improv, voice acting. I love to immerse myself in the world of a character, living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. And so Candela Obscura was such a great opportunity to do that, to really immerse myself in this cool, spooky, horrific world, to have deeply emotional, generous table mates to explore that world and that story with. So I approached the game as like a giant improv exercise. It was essentially yes and with dice rolls.
Let's hit the gym.
Oh, thank you so much for the kind words. I've seen a few of these questions of any tips for first-time D&D players. I think the biggest thing in my experience is things won't go as planned. And that's a gift when they don't go as planned. So if you have something in mind for your character or your story, and it doesn't quite unfold the way you pictured, it's a good thing. Try to just stay as present as possible in what is actually unfolding around you. And the answer will emerge of the next story step to take. It's really scary, but you have to trust that what needs to unfold will, and the rest will fall away. And that's okay. Just stay in the moment. I believe the correct term would be ghost. The other thing I would say maybe is listen more than talk. You're building a world and a story together collaboratively. And so if you can just focus on the connection with each other, and again, it comes back to presence, staying really present with one another and supporting each other, and that natural sort of give and take. It's lovely when that unfolds, when a table has good chemistry, where, sometimes some people are going to be in the spotlight, and then at other times you're going to be in the spotlight, and everybody is lending each other's energy to support the person who's taking the spotlight. Like, it's just really awesome when you can get into a flow like that. And that really comes from being present and listening and responding. Yeah, those are my 2 cents. Come inside. Here's where the magic happens. This is my Jane Foster, aka the Mighty Thor, who guards my booth. I'm the voice of the mighty Thor in the Marvel's Avengers video game. Fun fact, as you all probably know, the illustrious Travis Willingham plays Thor in the game. I think that's pretty cool.
Hey, I'm going to answer some questions in here because the lighting is good. I think you're very right when you say that she comes from a specific place. I can't wait for, I'm sure it'll drop at some point, the Session 0 video where they go into detail about how we constructed our characters and kind of the inspiration for them. But I'll say I'm always initially drawn to cerebral characters who seem very resilient and have a rule system in place for themselves on the surface, but then the second that gets challenged, their vulnerability shines through and they lose a little bit of control. And so I really wanted to explore what it would be like when the doctor who's supposed to have all the answers doesn't. Oh, I love this question. I think that's so interesting. I'll say I don't think I consciously had the intention of making her speech pattern tense and precise, but both of those things were a natural extension of the character. So the tension in Jean comes from, she's this very disciplined, very cerebral person who is trying to walk this morally straight path, but feels forces from either side pulling at her. So in order to keep that straight, narrow path, that's where that tension is coming from. She has to keep it all together, keep it together. That's sort of her mantra. And not only just in terms of like moral pressures, but being a war surgeon on the field, getting her training there. Like she had to keep it together. If she didn't keep it together, everybody died. It was really awesome. I, over the years, have worked on a lot of the same video game and animation projects as the Critical Role folks, so I think we were always kind of in each other's orbits. And a couple years ago, I was invited to come play a test game of what later went on to become Candela Obscura. And it was so much fun. Taliesin was the DM, and it felt like being in a horror movie. It was so fun. And so when I got the invitation to be a part of the cast of season 2 of Candela Obscura, I jumped at the chance because I knew it was just going to be a stellar experience. And I couldn't have asked for a better cast. My God, everybody seriously is at the top of their game and so freaking smart. I learned so much watching everybody do their thing at this table. 11 out of 10 experience would do again. Thank you so much. I did do a little research. I should mention that both of my parents were doctors. So I grew up in a household that was filled with medical textbooks and medical terminology. And I kind of had a general idea of kind of doctor life in the modern era anyway. So I had to really research, essentially turn of the century medicine, what procedures were happening, what technology had not been introduced yet, what technology might have a magical spin on it. And then specifically like World War I medicine, like on the field. There was an amazing documentary about World War I nurses that I found, I think for free on YouTube. I'm not sure ultimately how much of that came into play in the game, but I was glad to kind of be armed with that arsenal of knowledge just in case it was applicable. I love the Candela Obscura world and the lore. There's so much richness to dig into. And if I were to play another game with a different character, I think I would probably choose the Explorer in the muscle class, because I shy away from muscle. I'm afraid of violence and I don't know, combat has never been fun for me. So I feel like I should lean into that more. Jean was a scholar doctor, more reserved, but it'd be fun to play somebody who's a bit more brash, a bit more braggadocious. And I have some really cool ideas for the Explorer specifically. So that's probably what I'd pick.
ghost story time. I'll start. Don't worry, this story is not too scary. It's kind of wholesome. There's a town in Arizona called Jerome that my partner and I love to visit. It is an old copper mining town. The mine there was largely abandoned until it was purchased, and I believe it is now an operational copper mine again. But mostly, it's a city known for being Ghost City, USA. It's really artsy. It has a nice wine scene. I think the guy Maynard from Tool has a winery there. It's a really great destination spot for LGBTQ tourists. It's awesome. So there's a hotel there that used to be a hospital. This hospital is where the miners would go with their gruesome injuries, and also where residents of the town's burgeoning red light district would go with various afflictions. Now, this hospital went out of business in the early 1900s, and it essentially sat empty for, I think, about 50 years, until it was purchased by a private company and turned into a hotel. Of course it's haunted. There are many stories about happenings at the hotel. So my partner and I, being curious, check in, and they put us on a floor, the 4th floor, which used to be the maternity ward. All right, we get into our room. I kid you not. There's a door that you cannot open, but you can look through the keyhole, and it looks like an operating, what is the word? An operating room? There's a fancy word for it. I'm tired. With little drawers, so you can tell, the maternity, what is it? It'll come to me. I'm totally killing the mood, I'm sorry. So, that first night, we go to bed. And I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. But I woke up, I think, to my mind, it was a couple hours into the night. I usually sleep through the night when I'm at home. But I woke up because I heard what sounded like a labored breathing on my left side. My partner is sleeping on my right. And then the labored breathing turned into an almost animalistic growl. And then the growl turned into a purr. And then I felt on my leg, I kid you not, sort of little impressions up the leg. I was terrified. I didn't want to open my eyes and look. But eventually I got up the nerve and I turned and looked. And everything fell silent. And of course nothing was there. And I see, high up the wall, the air conditioner whirring. Oh, I think, just the air conditioner. But I couldn't explain away the sensation I felt on my body of the little steps. Flash forward to the next morning. We discover in the hotel lobby that there is a resident ghost cat that haunts the hotel. Normally, Kitty is, I think, seen on the 2nd and 3rd floors. There weren't any 4th floor reports of it. There was a book in the lobby with all these, people could lodge their ghostly experiences. But I like to think Kitty sensed that we were friends and wanted to pay us a visit. Okay, team, that's all I got. It's been such a fun day. Thank you for having me. Follow me at Zehra Fazal to continue the adventure. And I am so excited to pass the torch on to Spencer Stark right here, starting tomorrow. Spencer's amazing. You're going to have so much fun with him. How can a person so sweet, warm, and kind have such dark and demented thoughts? It's going to be amazing. And be sure to tune in to our finale episode on November 2nd. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoy. Take good care of yourselves and each other. Bye.